Hi there, I'm Julie, and we are crocheting symbols of Griffith Park for the Autry Museum's exhibition Investigating Griffith Park, which celebrates the park's 125th anniversary. Today, I'll be demonstrating how to crochet a leafy daisy. It's a flower which is native to California and grows in Griffith Park. We would love for you to participate in this project and crochet along with us. And if you send us your leafy daisy, we'll hang it up in the museum. Information about where to send or drop off your crocheted flower will be provided at the end of this video. For materials, you'll need yarn and a crochet hook. I used a 3.5mm or E hook with DK weight acrylic yarn. Acrylic yarn is important for this project as natural fibers could bring unwanted pests into the gallery. I used 2 strands of yellow yarn together for the center, but feel free to use just one as it is easier. And then I used lavender yarn for the petals. You'll also need a tapestry needle and scissors. Let's get started on making the flower. We begin with yellow yarn. In this first part, I'm holding 2 strands of yellow yarn together so that the center of the daisy has more texture and color variation. We need to create a center ring, which you can make by using a loose slip knot. Make a loop. Then take this yarn and put it through the loop. Don't pull too tightly because this is going to be your center ring. It's where we're going to work all of the stitches for the first round. But we do put our hook in this part of the loop. We're going to shrink it a little bit by pulling on the yarn. Take the yarn and draw it through that loop. So that's a chain stitch to secure the slip knot. Now we're going to put 5 single crochets in the center ring. So we'll do that by putting our hook through the ring, drawing up a loop. We have 2 loops, yarn over and draw through both loops. We'll do that 4 more times. Go into the ring, draw up a loop. We have 2 loops, yarn over and draw through both loops. Now do that 3 more times. Now we have 5 single crochets in the center ring. You can now tug on the end of the yarn to shrink the center ring. Just give it a few short tugs. You can see the center ring has disappeared mostly. And then we're going to start on this very first single crochet that we had placed into the ring. That's where we start our next round. For the next round, we're going to crochet 2 single crochet stitches in each of the stitches from the last round. This will make a total of 10 single crochet stitches in this round. Start off by going into this first stitch from the last round, draw up a loop. You'll have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and draw through both loops. Now you're going to go into the same stitch again. Go into the stitch, draw up a loop. You have 2 loops, yarn over and draw through both loops. Now for the next stitch. Go into the stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over, draw through both loops. Go into the stitch, draw up a loop, 2 loops, yarn over, draw through both loops. And you'll do 2 stitches, 2 single crochet stitches in every stitch around until you have 10 altogether. So I have one example that I've already made where all 10 stitches have been made already. And we'll continue on to the 3rd round. For this 3rd and final round of making the center of the flower, we're going to follow a pattern of 2 single crochet stitches in the first stitch and 1 single crochet stitch in the second stitch. So we start off with 2. So we'll go into this first stitch, draw up a loop, 2 loops, yarn over and draw through both loops. and do our second stitch in the same place. Now just one stitch in the next one, and two in the next one. So that's one and two, and then one in this one. And continue on, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, until you have 15 single crochet stitches in this round. Once you have 15 single crochet stitches, you can slip stitch. Now, sorry, I've already jumped the gun and done that. I'll undo this part. So you do a slip stitch by putting your hook in the next stitch, drawing up a loop. You have 2 loops on your hook. Draw the top loop through the bottom loop, and then you're going to fasten off. To fasten off means you're just finishing the piece, or this part of our flower in any case. You're going to take the yarn and pull the whole thing through the loop and then pull it tight. And so we finished the center of the leafy daisy. Before we start the petals, we're going to flip the yellow center to work on the back. Now we take the lavender yarn and make a slip knot. And we attach to any of the stitches on the outer round of the yellow center. Draw the loop through, leaving the knot from the slip knot on the back. And chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We're going to skip this last chain stitch and make a slip stitch in the second chain from the hook. You draw the yarn through, you have 2 loops, and pull the top loop through the other loop on the hook. In the next 4 chains, you'll make a single crochet just like we did before. And in the last stitch, you're going to make another slip stitch. Top loop through the bottom loop. You're going to put another slip stitch in the base of this petal, in that yellow center. So top loop through the bottom loop, make a slip stitch in the stitch to the left, and continue in making petals until you've made 15 of them. Once you've finished your last petal by slip stitching in the last stitch of the yellow center, then slip stitch in the stitch to the left, which is the same stitch where you first started making petals. After this, you want to remove the hook, grab a pair of scissors, and cut the yarn. You can see I already did it, but here we go. Should be around 3 to 4 inches long. Put the hook through the loop and draw the end through the loop and tighten. There you have your leafy daisy. Now it's time to weave in your ends. If you have a tapestry needle, thread the needle with your yarn tail A good rule of thumb is to weave the ends back and forth 3 times. First, go under at least 4 or 5 strands of yarn in one direction, skip a strand and return in the opposite direction. For the last pass, go in the opposite direction again, skipping the first strand. You'll want to stick with the same color that you used. Skip 1 strand, go back in the opposite end. Skip 1 strand, go back in the opposite direction. Snip the end short, and that's how you do it. You can do that with all of the other ends, just making sure that you pair the yellow in the yellow center and the lavender edge petals. There you go. Now you've got your finished leafy daisy flower. Now you've got a leafy daisy. Thanks for watching, and check out the information at the end of the video to find out where to send your leafy daisy to have it included in the exhibition. Bye for now.